That's some throttle response. So overall, this has been a super fun project. I'm really excited to get this thing on the snow because over the past projects, we've left the engines completely stock. This one, we decided to take a different route and go with a 925, still on pump gas. We just wanted more grunt out of the bottom and middle. And really to combat, you know, we're trying to close the gap on the turbos because we all know they build great power. But this will be a wicked sled for Shelly because it's super light. And really, to do it, you know, we started at the front of this thing. You know, we put the Fox Evol shocks on there, and I like the air shocks specifically because then we can tune the air spring, or tune the spring, the air pressure, and get rid of the sway bar. It's a pound, whatever, when we're trying to take weight out, it doesn't need to be on the sled, it's gone. The next thing that we use for lightweight is the stock 600 RS hood. But the neat thing is you can get this from the dealer. They ran that hood for a while. It takes a little bit to make it fit on a Gen 5, but it's worth it. And honestly, you could just go to the dealer and get these, which is a nice touch. And they're light and all the intake bolts up, everything, and they're as you would expect with factory OEM quality. We did drill out a few things on this side, not a lot of weight savings, but it helps to keep a little bit of snow on the disc to help cool it off. You know, we all know that keeping a finger on the brake keeps the front end planted. Over here, we have these pyramid spars. We built these a few years ago. They were on Shelly's Gen 4, or a version of these were on Shelly's Gen 4 lightweight project as well. There's some pluses and minuses on these. There's some chassis tuning to be had on that, and we've got another project here. I think that we might upgrade these. Another thing is the seat. This is a really light seat. Kind of started off as an RS seat. We trimmed it down. You can see it's very small, but it's a closed cell foam, so it doesn't absorb any water. Definitely is a little firm compared to the stock seat, but hopefully you don't have to sit down very much. This is the biggest, when you're cutting weight off the snowmobile, the carbon fiber skid frame undoubtedly is the bang for your buck. It is the most weight that you can cut off a snowmobile. This was a 154 sled when we started, and we put a 165 in it as well. And we chose to put in the non-flex edge track. We weighed a bunch of different tracks, and then also it's about chassis tuning or suspension tuning, however you want to look at that. You know, the carbon sled skid frame does rock a fair bit, just like T-Motion, which I like, and I think it's important. You know, if you're a light rider, Shelly's a light rider, and you know, it's a combination of like, okay, we have some flex in the skid frame, but do we want a same amount of flex out on the track or not? So, and it's not, there's no right or wrong answer. For somebody that's really small, then a flex edge track would work really good, or it depends on length too. If you're a medium-sized guy riding a 175 with flex edge, that's okay too. You know, there's no right or wrong answer. It's really a preference or tuning. So think of it that way. So this particular sled has a 925 in it. So Brent Linderman built this out of Southern Alberta. Brent's built lots and lots of race snowmobiles, drag racing, hill climb. And this is a pump gas project that he's been working on. So we rode it a little bit last year. It went over the summer. Brent had it. Just did a little bit of changes and variations, mostly in cylinder head design, I believe. And yeah, it's a pump gas version, so we're pretty excited about that. Definitely feels very responsive, like in the bottom and mid. It really is snappy. Another cool thing that we did was we took the RS jack shaft, and this clutch is right off the 600 RS. and mostly it's for tuning. There's probably not a lot of weight difference between the QRS, which is really a great clutch. It's got the widest bearing surface out of any of the secondaries, aftermarket or OEM. So the QRS is actually very durable. And especially with the updated rollers now, it should be bulletproof. But it's just not as easy to do cam changes if you're going to do lots of tuning or if it's going to be a race sled. That's why these are handy. One bolt comes off, change the cam. You don't even have to take the spring out. You just take the cam out, has 2 angles on it, most of them, and boom, you put it in, and it's just a lot more options in cams for these. And then this is another interesting part. This airbox is a very straight design, and this was actually one that we had left over from one of our turbo projects, and it fits in there really nice, and it actually has quite a bit of space. So now I can actually have some storage space inside of here, and it's a very big volume as well. So, and it's quite light. It's made out of thin material. The motor definitely seems very happy in the field. You can feel the throttle response. I mean, there's a lot of other things. That's not the only thing that's helping it, but you do 10 little things and you have one pretty good size result. Just like making it lightweight. Yes, you have some big pieces, but it's a lot of the pieces to make the cake. All right, let's put this thing on the hook and get some numbers. So we took off 51 pounds out of this snowmobile, and that is the fuel right full. The oil is right full, has a spare belt on this side, has the clutch tools in it, and that's ready to ride. And that's a pretty good number. The Gen 5, when we weighed them, was actually 10 pounds lighter than a 154 X in the exact same model, just from Gen 4 to Gen 5. Gen 5 was 10 pounds lighter, which is awesome. So that's why we ended up at 50 pounds. I think we probably might be a little aggressive. I think we could probably shave another 18 pounds out. I would hope we could squeak a little more out of that, but I think that's still a really great number. I believe right out of the crate, the Skidoos are the most reliable, best performing machine. Does it cost lots to make them lighter? Yeah, of course it does. It's a small part of the market, but I feel that it's worth it for certain people, and it is expensive, but man, if it makes a difference of 10 more years of you riding with your kids or your grandkids, or you get to ride with your dad longer, or people that you enjoy riding with, and you can extend someone's career by a decade because they have a really light sled, why wouldn't you?